This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Florida State Championship Series in Omaha. What do you think here? Nobody should count out Florida, man. I'll tell you what. From what they did right now, you can't count them out.
I know, right? Wouldn't that be something? That would be something. Though I don't know if I could take it. Though I also know Florida State swept them during the regular season, during their midweek games. But obviously Florida wasn't the team they were then, nor were they throwing their weekend arms. So that would be something. Courtney is going to leave on Friday to go for this opening weekend of Omaha. She's very excited. Saul and I talked about it. If Florida State makes it to the championship series, then we will go.
Well, they get an interesting bracket there, but they get Tennessee up first. So
right.
I don't know. Tennessee is really scary right now.
Yeah.
I could see them coming out of that bracket. Honestly, the way NC State has played, I could see them coming out of the bracket that's got all three SEC teams. But as I look right now, if I were to pick two teams to make it out into the championship series, I'm looking at A&M and Tennessee.
Wow, I like that. Tennessee is scary right now. I think you're absolutely right. They're hitting a lot of home runs, and for Florida State, if you go back to that second game against UConn and really all season long, that's their MO. They hit home runs. That's how they win games. So I'm really curious, though, we know that Charles Schwab Field is not a home run hitting ballpark, if that changes things at all, or if you're looking at a team like Tennessee who just has almost too much power, or that's not even going to matter. And I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm a little nervous for FSU, though, because I'd like to see them manufacture some runs.
Yeah, I'd be nervous just because.
Where have we heard that before?
Well, yeah, no kidding. Hey, I got to get your opinion on Team USA women's basketball and the whole controversy with Caitlin Clark. And, I think people just want everybody to take a hard opinion about it. And I don't really, to be quite honest, I don't have a hard opinion about this. I don't care if she was on the team or not. But a lot of people seem to, and they say, well, they'd watch it if she was there. I don't know how much she would have played. They won't watch it if she's not there. But obviously she brings eyes to whatever it is she's doing. But I also think that can bring some unwanted attention for some of the other players that are there. And I don't know. I can see both sides of the argument. Where do you come in on this?
Yeah, I was really surprised, to be honest. And I think that if you look at it from a eyeball standpoint, that Caitlin Clark would have just gotten you more attention. Bottom line, during the Olympics, Caitlin Clark is on the roster. Even if she's not playing, you're going to have more people watching. So I was a little surprised by that. I understand what people are saying where, she hasn't played in the league for very long. She hasn't proven anything, and she's not playing that great right now. That is also true, too. And in an article I was reading by ESPN that said, she missed the Team USA training camp that she was invited to because Iowa was playing in the Final Four. Well, you can't penalize her for wanting to continue to play with her college team. That's what she's doing. And for those who are like, well, she hasn't proved that much in the league. Yeah, but look what she's done in college. So I don't know. I would have liked to see her on the team, quite honestly. Am I really been out of shape about it? No. But I think from a attention standpoint, you were just going to get more eyeballs with Caitlin Clark on the team than without.
Yeah, she's so talented. I'd like to have seen her, and she's handled it well as well. No question about it. She'll be fine. Hey, Alyssa, have you been keeping up with Boston and Dallas, and kind of get your thoughts? You think Dallas has a chance? Game 3 is important. It's the most important game when you're down 0-2. What are your chances you give Dallas to kind of make this a series? Charles Barkley, I was watching the hockey game yesterday, and he got up there, and the first thing Charles Barkley says was, "This is it." He thinks it's going to be a sweep. He thinks that Boston's going to go to Dallas and win 2 in a row. What do you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I was all Dallas heading into this. I would love for the Mavericks to win another ring. Pro Daniel Gafford, all of those things. And I'm not feeling too hot anymore. Boston's just playing really, really well. But it's hard to get that kind of momentum back. We've seen it happen. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but I bet Boston wins it in 5.
Well, I'm not quite sure if I can see Dallas. I can see them winning a game, but if they don't win the next one, it's done.
Don't you think it's more up to how Boston shows up? If Boston shows up ready to play, then there's nothing Dallas can do.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive to watch them right now, and it's unfortunate because you love these games, these series to be competitive and not one-sided, but that is sport.
Did you see the announcement about the time windows? Is it nice to get time windows? But then we also get, for football, I mean, you get, in some cases, six days to, figure out whether you're playing anywhere between 2:30 and 7. I mean, I don't mind that too much because of 4.5 hour window is really not all that big of a deal. It's a product of not having CBS as a broadcast partner, and I mean, it's a good thing, I think, to at least have a really good sense of what time you're. This is what the NFL does. The NFL does this,
right.
Although they have their kickoff time set, 10 months ahead of time or 8 months ahead of time.
Right. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it for the fans. I'm sure that's going to be a lot easier with planning purposes. But from my planning purposes, when we're traveling to games and I'm figuring out game times and travel itineraries, and look, 11 o'clock kickoff for me and for you guys too, Phil, when you guys are doing broadcasts and such, is a lot different than doing a game day show in the morning and having to wait all day until a 6 o'clock kickoff at night. So for me, I like it because I like to be able to know what I'm getting into, what my weekend and what my months are going to be like, and not having to wait 2 weeks out every week to figure out when kickoff is going to be. So these windows are nice for planning purposes, but also, at the end of the day, you can schedule them already, right? Like you said, the NFL does it already. Just schedule them. Stop with all this secret, figuring it out and keeping people on the edge of their seat, figuring out what time kickoff is. Just put it set in stone. At this point, there's college football sun up to sundown, so it doesn't really matter when you play.
Alyssa, TB2, Trevon Brazile coming back to be a Razorback under Coach Cal. What are your thoughts on that? You think that's a good fit?
I do. Man, I tell you what, he is someone, if you sat down and talked with him, it's hard not to root for him. He's a good kid who's got a good head on his shoulders, who's been through a lot with injury, and I know that takes sometimes a bigger mental toll on athletes than other athletes. And I think for Trevon, he just needs a season to be healthy. And he needs the season to truly be the Trevon Brazile that he was supposed to be out of high school. And a lot of the draft boards have him being. And if he can do that, I just want to see the kid have success. I would have loved to see the kid have success elsewhere if he chose that was where he wants to go. But the fact that he's coming back to Arkansas says two things. That he believes this is a staff, this is the place in the program that can help him get better. And this is also an opportunity for him to prove to Arkansas what he hasn't been able to do the last 2 years. Because we've seen it in other sports, that after a couple of injuries, it's not really the university's fault per se, the team's fault per se, but there are athletes who are like, I just need a new start, a refresh. The injuries, sometimes mentally, I just need a new place. I think we saw that with Jalen Catalon, right? He just needed to go somewhere else after the injuries he had at Arkansas. And so for Trevon to stay here shows a lot of commitment and trust into the basketball program and him believing that that's the best place for him to have the best basketball career in college he could have.
It would seem to me in this next athletics calendar, Alyssa, just looking at a lot of the teams that we covered took a step back this year in terms of the postseason success or not making the postseason, all of them. If you look at football, men's, women's basketball, baseball, you can throw softball into. Which of the programs do you think has the best opportunity to take a step forward next year? Not just staying where they are, a little step forward. I mean, kind of a big step forward.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the biggest step forward, I got to look at the men's basketball team just because of all of the talent that's come in with the kind of caliber of coaching that we know that John Calipari and that Kenny Payne have. That's a team that could be a Final Four team next year after not even making the tournament and completely rebuilding a roster. I think the start to finish is much bigger for that men's basketball team than any other team. But to be quite honest with you, Phil, you didn't mention it, but this is a soccer program under Colby Hale that we've been waiting a long time to have success in the postseason, like Final Four, go to Cary, North Carolina kind of success. I think Colby Hale's got a chance, and this soccer program has a chance to win a national title or to compete for a national title. So I know that that's not a sport that you said, but, man, they've kind of been right there where they've been good and dominant for so long during the regular season, and they fumble into the postseason. So I'd really like soccer to take a step forward.
They're the first of the teams to get going. I think soccer is the first of the sports to actually start. That would work great. I'd love that. It'd be a great bookend. Yeah. Soccer wins the Natty to start the athletics calendar. Baseball wraps it up. I like where you're going there, Alyssa.
That would be nice.
I'll write it in pencil in my notebook.
Phil. There we go. Right. It's possible.
Alyssa, have a great...
Hey, and a shout out. I know. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
To the women's track team too. I was just going to say. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have talked about what they did, and the 4x400 team with the women setting collegiate record, and Nikisha Price setting the 400-meter outdoor record. Like, that was phenomenal. So shout out to Chris Johnson winning an indoor and outdoor title in his first year after taking over when Lance Harder retired.
Are any of those ladies going to Paris with you?
Well, so Amber Anning is English, so I'm pretty sure she will qualify for the England team.
Cool.
Nikisha Price is Jamaican, so she's got a good chance of making the Jamaican team. Then Rosie Effiong and Kaylin Brown are Americans, and they'll compete in the trials here in a couple weeks.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.